Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. International boss wowed by how well Arsenal newcomer Gabriel Jesus is doing for Arteta. Arsenal forward Gabriel Jesus is absolutely in contention for the Brazil national team, according to head coach Tite. The Seleção boss was speaking about the Gunners' star despite not picking him for their latest squad. Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli, and Gabriel Magalhaes aren't in the Brazil squad for their friendlies against Ghana and Tunisia this month. All three Arsenal players were part of the five-time World Cup winners squad in June for their friendlies against South Korea and Japan. Jesus, Martinelli and Magalhaes have all begun the season superbly for Mikel Arteta's side, helping them to top spot in the Premier League. Tite, when asked about Jesus' absence from the squad, suggested that the decision allowed him to take a closer look at other players. Gabriel Jesus specifically is having a great time and in contention. Absolutely, yes. Metro quotes Tite as saying, "These call-ups serve as opportunities for others, as well as others in the same context regarding the number of attackers. Football is creation and scoring and defensive solidity. If you run away from these characteristics, you will lose. This balance point is very difficult in a team, and we are looking for it. This number of attackers will not be determined. Athleticism, versatility is an important part." The international break often causes anxiety for Premier League managers and fans. Players risk overexerting themselves and potentially suffering injuries, which the clubs then have to deal with. Obviously, playing for your country is a great honor, but it's all about that balancing act. And when the games in question are friendlies, they are even less necessary for players, particularly established ones. So, it's good news that three of Arsenal's main players will be able to get a rest during the latest international break. Martin Keown says Eddie Nketiah got punished after lazy challenge in FC Zurich versus Arsenal. Arsenal legend Martin Keown has branded Eddie Nketiah's challenge that led to a penalty against Zurich as lazy. The Gunners kicked off their Europa League campaign with a win on Thursday. They dominated the game from start to finish, but Zurich made Mikel Arteta's side work really hard to score their two goals. Arsenal scored two and conceded one in Switzerland against Zurich on Thursday, and Nketiah was involved in all three goals. The 23-year-old Englishman assisted Marquinhos' opener in the 16th minute and then scored the winner for Arsenal in the second half. However, in between those two goals, Nketiah conceded a penalty. Keown has branded his challenge inside the box as lazy, the Arsenal legend said on BT Sport. As quoted by HITC, "He makes a lot of it, and rightly so, it's a penalty. But he, Nketiah, won't be doing that again. It's about learning. It's a really good learning experience. He switched off his ball watching, a lazy challenge, and he gets punished. It was a rushed challenge by Nketiah, and he will definitely learn from this going forward. The Englishman didn't have a great time. He didn't make the goalkeeper work as much as he would have liked, but he still ended the tie with a goal and an assist to his name. That will give Nketiah a lot of confidence going forward, and with Gabriel Jesus setting really high standards in training and in games, the 23-year-old will surely put himself to the limits." Arsenal take on PSV Eindhoven next, and Nketiah will likely keep his place in the side. Marquinhos has wowed club insiders. He is in their long-term plans. Arsenal may have just discovered another future star in their ranks. Marquinhos was the Gunners' first signing of the summer, joining from Sao Paulo for £3 million. He arrived at Arsenal as one for the future and wasn't expected to be thrown in at the deep end. In July, Mikel Arteta suggested that he was open to sending Marquinhos on loan, but a month later, the Arsenal boss said the 19-year-old would stick around until at least January. This week, Marquinhos got his debut, and to say it went well is an understatement. The Brazilian could have hardly asked for a better bow in red and white. Marquinhos played a key role in Arsenal beating FC Zurich in the Europa League, registering a goal and an assist. Fabrizio Romano has now provided an update on the Gunners' stance on Marquinhos. Arsenal are more than happy with Marquinhos' impact, he wrote on Twitter. 3.5 million euros fee invested this summer to sign him from Sao Paulo and also anticipate Wolves. Edu, key to explain the long-term project to the player and his family. Arsenal are planning with the 23-born winger for the future. When it comes to exciting prospect, Arsenal have struck gold in recent years. Haaland has seen the likes of Bukayo Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe and Reiss Nelson emerge, and then you have Gabriel Martinelli, who apparently cost the club a mere of £6 million. Now, Marquinhos could be the next future superstar. Arsenal must offer Mohamed Elneny a new offer. Arsenal currently have the youngest squad in the Premier League with an average age of 24.3 according to Transfer Market. Despite this, one of their older players that we think the club and Edu should offer a new deal to is Mohamed Elneny. The North London club signed the midfielder back in the 2016 January transfer window from Basel in a deal worth £5 million. Since then, the Egyptian has gone on to make 148 appearances for the Gunners across all competitions, chipping in with 5 goals and 10 assists. With his current contract at the Emirates set to expire next summer, even though the club have an option to trigger an extra year to his deal, we think the club should consider offering him a new contract to keep him in North London beyond that. Last season saw the 30-year-old highlighting his strength on the pitch by ending the campaign with a higher percentage of successful passes, 93.5%, than any other Arsenal player. In addition to that, only 2 other players in Mikel Arteta's squad ended the season with a higher percentage of successful pressures than the Egypt international, 35.2%, which shows how useful he can be off the ball as well as on it. To further highlight what he offered Arteta's side, former Gunners manager Arsene Wenger had this to say about Elneny. He said, "Elneny is a very strong and active player. He is a player with a modern style of play and who always gives his best for his team. Elneny is a very tactically useful player. He is very active inside the pitch, and what strikes me the most is how he protects his team. His input within the team is great, not in terms of goal creation, because he's not the type to have the final touch before the goal, but because of how helpful he is in the build-up. Elneny's style of play adds protection to the team." Taking all of this into account, it should be the club's priority to keep hold of the midfield figure for as long as possible, even if that means offering him a new deal. Aaron Ramsdale responds when asked if he's looking forward to facing Erling Haaland. Arsenal and England goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale has been asked how he feels about facing Manchester City's Erling Haaland. Haaland had an underwhelming performance in the Community Shield loss to Liverpool, and questions were asked about how he would settle in. He has blown them all away with 12 goals in his opening 8 matches in a blue shirt across all competitions, including 2 last time out against Sevilla. Ramsdale appeared as a guest on A League of Their Own on Sky Max, and at 9:23 p.m. in the broadcast, host Romesh Ranganathan asked him if he was looking forward to facing Haaland. "A little bit, but not as well," he said with a smile on his face. "Yeah, I like playing against the best player, but I just don't want him to score too many." Pundits Jamie Redknapp and Mika Richards were also on the show, and Redknapp joked he was saying earlier, "He won't score past me." Ramsdale has a reputation as a straight talker, and he has been candid about how Liverpool's Diogo Jota made him look like a plonker last season. The first meeting between Arsenal and City this season is scheduled for 19 October at the Emirates Stadium in the Premier League. Arsenal were meant to be hosting Everton this weekend, but the game has been called off along with every other match in the country now. Everton and Arsenal could go head-to-head in January for an incredible £30 million Champions League star. Arsenal and Everton could go head-to-head in January to try and sign Shakhtar Donetsk star Mikhailo Mudryk. The Ukrainian star was on the radar of the Gunners As this summer window drew to a close and he has recently admitted he'd find a move to Arsenal hard to turn down. And now, according to Calcio Mercato, Madrid's performance in this week's Champions League fixtures has once again caught the eyes of Arsenal and Everton, who are both actively thinking of making a move for Madrid in January. Dubbed an incredible dribbler, the Ukrainian star would help fill the void left by Nicolas Pepe at Arsenal, while for Everton, he'd simply be a quality addition who immediately helps improve the first starting 11. The 21-year-old is seen as one of the standout players in Eastern Europe, and with the conflict in Ukraine ongoing, could be open to moving away. The January window is expected to be a busy one in 2023. Fresh off the back of a World Cup, clubs will be keen to snap up any standout players to emerge from the tournament in Qatar. As eye-catching performances go, you have to say that the display Madrid put on in midweek was something brilliant. The Ukrainian really looks the real deal, and it was little wonder that Shakhtar ended up hammering RB Leipzig in one of the surprise results of the week. Certainly, it was a performance from both player and team which will have got European scouts salivating. Come January, both Arsenal and Everton will likely be on the lookout for fresh talent, and if Madrid keeps on impressing, then a big money move might well be on the cards. Bundesliga star Jonas Wind hints at future move. Wolfsburg striker Jonas Wind has revealed that Arsenal would be his dream destination if he was to leave the Bundesliga club. Wind only signed for Wolfsburg in January of this year, but the Danish striker has adapted to life in Germany with ease. Wind scored 5 goals in his first 14 games at the club during his first season after impressing in his home country of Denmark. At 23-year-old, Wind is already looking to the future, and in an interview with Bully News, the Wolfsburg striker has revealed that Arsenal would be his dream destination. But if we look into the future, Arsenal would be a dream destination for me, as it has always been my favorite club. In general, I think the Premier League is the best league in the world, and it would be exciting to play there, said Wind. Arsenal were in the market for a striker this summer, but opted to sign former Manchester City forward Gabriel Jesus. The Brazilian has played a pivotal role in their success so far this season, as they sit top of the Premier League table. If Wind continues his success in Germany, then there is no reason he can't secure a dream move to England in the future. However, with Jesus in fine form, Arsenal may not be in the hunt for a player of Wind's profile in the next few years. Ferran Torres responds to Barcelona exit talk amid reported interest from Arsenal. Barcelona forward Ferran Torres has denied talks of any potential transfer from the Spanish club despite active interest from a Premier League club Arsenal. The 22-year-old Spain international said he's concentrating on Xavi's project at Camp Nou to make his side a more competitive team. Ferran Torres joined Barcelona in January this year after spending the initial half of the season with the Premier League side Manchester City. Pep Guardiola signed the young Spanish forward from Valencia in 2020 on a 5-year contract worth £23 million and agreed to sell him to Barcelona for £55 million plus £10 million in add-ons. In his brief career at the Etihad Stadium, Torres scored 16 goals and provided 4 assists in his 43 games for the club. However, the player was adamant about returning to play in La Liga. Since joining Xavi's Barcelona, Torres has scored 8 goals and provided 7 assists in 30 appearances across different tournaments. Ferran Torres became a regular figure in Barcelona's starting 11 last season, starting in as many as 16 matches in the previous campaign. The player remains focused on playing at Camp Nou and is not ready to accept a new offer from another club, despite losing his place to the club's new signings Robert Lewandowski and Rafinha. Instead, the Spanish international said that he's enjoying the competition he is facing from his fellow teammates. Speaking to 90 Minutes, Torres said, "An exit? I have just arrived at Barca. It's a pride that a player like this Lewandowski is here. We already know him, we know what kind of player he is, there have been other signings, we are fighting to make a competitive team, which is what Barca deserves," Ferran said. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.